medical advice could have been killing thousands of children. 60,000 people since 2017 could have been saved from peanut allergies by this new advice. And this new advice went totally against the old medical advice. Before 2017, doctors, for ages, they'd recommend that infants avoid peanuts just to stop them getting peanut allergies. If you went against this advice and you introduced children really early to peanuts, this would actually...
Sam and Kit Bowen Russell, who really took skincare into their own hands.
Twin brothers from the UK who are taking the skincare industry by storm.
Sam is a nuclear astrophysicist, and Kit is a geophysicist and author.
A Notre Dame grad and his twin brother are looking to revolutionize skin health.
The two launched a 2-year intensive research study.
Two very smart guys who knew all about bad skin at a very early age.
That woman at the end was our mum, and really she's the face which launched 1,000 questions for us.
Three, 2, 1. Okay, we're live. So, Sam, this week we've called an emergency Cobra meeting, haven't we, for the breaking news, because there's been a huge study which has been splashed all across the media in the US, where the study was done, but also the UK as well, because it has massive worldwide health implications. Basically, the big headline is medical advice could have been killing thousands of children. So this new study blows that out of the water with the opposite advice to what was previously given.
Right. So, yeah, well, I want to, because you've done all the reading on this, I want to ask you questions about that and then how it can, at the end, because there's no point talking about it apart unless it gives us something that we can take away, not just for our health, but also for our skin, because that's really what we're here for.
Exactly.
So I want to know at the end, because the reason that this has caught your imagination and mind and your attention is because it's going to help the chronic disease or chronic skin issues. So I want to know, because you said the headline that medical advice could have been killing thousands or tens of thousands of children, which is massive. But I want you to say now what the study is about, what the headline of the study is, and why it is so incredible for everyone, or you. Why did you find it so incredible?
It was really incredible because it showed how 60,000 people since 2017 could have been saved from peanut allergies by this new advice. And this new advice went totally against the old medical advice. So really, before 2017, doctors, for ages, they'd recommend that infants avoid peanuts just to stop them getting peanut allergies. But then in 2015 came along a paper actually done by a guy from King's College London. Well, a team. The main guy was from King's College London, which is my rival. I went to UCL, as you know, Sam. So what this study said was that actually, if you went against this advice and you introduced children really early to peanuts, this would actually decrease their risk of getting peanut allergies by 80%. So basically, medical advice before that saying that, no, stop your child having peanuts, actually increased the risk of getting a peanut allergy by 80%. So it could have been causing these horrible peanut allergies and also sometimes, in some cases, deadly peanut allergies to all of these children.
Right. So what I want to know is, I want to know the big picture of the background quickly. Is has there been a big increase in peanut allergies in over which period of time?
Yeah, but I mean, again, I'm a bit shaky on these stats, but all I know is before 2015, food allergies had been increasing all throughout the 20th century. I'm pretty sure about that. So then obviously this caused a big flap because childhood food allergies were on the rise. And I can't remember the exact year, but sometime recently, food allergies have actually started to level off. So this study shows that peanut allergies actually dropped by 43%. That's in America since 2017.
Wow. So and this is since bringing in the new recommendations of introducing peanut to your diet early.
Yeah, since that, there obviously are other factors involved because it's not a one variable system, is it? There will be other factors, like, for example, all the work that RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr., and Make America Healthy Brigade in America are doing, taking additives out of food, making consumers understand the importance of eating no chemicals in their diet. Things like this will all be helping. But I think this advice has had a huge effect.
Right. So, okay. So I think the big picture I'm building up in my head is, as we talk about skin allergies and how they've massively increased, I hear people talking now about how no one in my day had peanut allergies or all of these kind of allergies, and they've massively increased. So what you're saying is actually, if you're talking about food allergies and peanut allergies in specific, then they're actually going down right now.
Peanut allergies since 2017 have gone down 43%, yeah. But obviously the trends before that, which is why people were so worried about allergies, is that the rates of allergy was going up all throughout the 20th century. So we had a big explosion in allergies, part of the chronic disease epidemic. Everyone was clamoring to try and find out the reason. And now what we're seeing is actually in food allergies, they said general food allergies since 2017 have gone down by 36% as well.
Right. Oh, so in general, wow.
Yeah, so in general, food allergies are actually, I remember the stats a few years ago, they were leveling off. So apart from increasing, they were leveling off. So obviously this changes country to country, but I think a general overall trend is they're leveling off and slowing down. And actually here it's showing that peanut and general food allergies decreased by 36%.
That's incredible. Okay. So it's incredible in my eyes because we're actually increasing skin allergies and skin disease, and chronic disease is increasing too. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, so there was a change in medical advice and instruction.
Yeah.
How did this go against the medical advice before that? What was the big change?
Well, as I said, the big change was that before that, parents were recommended to keep their babies away. Well, just talking about peanuts in this case. So for peanut allergies, it would keep their babies away from peanuts altogether. And then the study in 2015 with that King's College London person I was talking about showed that this actually increased the risk of developing a peanut allergy by 80%. So the old advice was shown to actually be a large factor in the onset of these allergies in childhood and later life. They said that of those 80%, in that study, 80% were more likely to get food allergies, but then 70% persisted until later life as well. So it's not just a childhood thing. Right.
Well, that's interesting, which I want to come back to. So you're saying the medical advice changed by saying, actually, no, you don't want to stop eating peanuts. You want to actually introduce them early, so that you don't, and your body gets used to them.
Yeah. So to go into a little bit of the science, your body gets used to them, and this is the crucial factor here, is they're introducing them through the gut. So your body gets used to them and doesn't see them as a threat, so it doesn't have a massive reaction to it, because that's how allergies happen. So there is one massive headline which has been buried in all of this, all of the news articles. I think there was only one which mentioned it. Line after line down in the article.
All right. I thought you were gonna release it. Are you gonna keep us in more suspense?
Well, it depends. You're the guy rolling the show, so.
Right. So, before you release the headline, the scene is basically, since this advice has changed, we've had a 43% drop in peanut allergies because they're actually encouraging the introduction through the gut. Simple. So there's been a massive drop in it, and it goes against all prior medical advice. So that seems like a massive headline to me, especially because it's not some kind of new drug. It's just lifestyle factor and something that seems quite obvious to us. So what is the headline that's been hidden?
Well, the massive headline was that actually, by not exposing children early to peanuts through the gut, it could mean that they get exposed to peanuts in their environment through the skin, which is where lots of food allergies originate. And that's huge because people will never associate food allergies with the skin. And there's been a few papers recently which have suggested that food allergies originate on the skin, but it's not public knowledge, is it?
No. So, well, I want to, yeah. I know all of our research is on, we talk a bit about that, about the peanut allergies being introduced via damaged skin. So can you explain, I mean, I was going to say to everyone, but to me, because you're the head chief scientist, why that has such big implications? Why does it? I don't get it.
Oh, again, it has massive implications because it shows that the skin could be a major factor in this massive rise in food allergies. And most people think of the skin as just something which is totally disconnected to the rest of the body. So if you mention the skin being involved in any disease, even skin problems, they poo-poo it and they say, no, it all starts in the gut or somewhere else. So this is yet more evidence buried in every single news reporting of this because people don't understand about the skin yet. There's more evidence that the skin has a huge role in whole body health. So that they said what they did with infants is they needed to ingest the peanuts. So it went through their gut. So their body then saw it as rightly so, as something which wasn't harmful. But if you don't do that early in life, they could come into contact with the peanuts through their skin. And because it hasn't gone through the gut and everything's been okay, it could set off some alert system in the body which says it's a threat.
Right, I see. So, and is it just any skin or is it damaged skin?
Well, yeah, that's a really good point, actually. And we know from our previous research that if you have damaged skin, it's much more likely to pick up these allergens, as we call them, in the environment as a threat. So, yeah. And again, babies, now there's a huge epidemic of babies having awful skin problems. So many babies, and this is, again, that's a good point. Many babies will have had skin problems, which might actually be making them more susceptible, especially so with the old advice, to food allergies. So you're right about that, Sam. That's a really good point.
So you're saying it's like a double whammy. So
yeah, and the thing which people aren't talking about, because if people understood that food allergies originated through the skin, but more so through damaged skin, so if they have eczema, then that they would be seeing that as a factor in these stats. Because the fact that, one, they don't expose themselves through the gut to these peanuts in early life, that means the body the immune system doesn't adapt to them and doesn't see them as safe. And two, the fact that lots of babies now have awfully damaged skin when they're born and throughout their childhood, that could also whack up these statistics of food allergies.
Right, that's amazing. So, I mean, so in terms of the double whammy, as I mentioned before, the English saying is, so people before could have been doing both, and they were. So they weren't introducing peanuts to their gut, so it wasn't recognizing it. And they also were, obviously, as we talk about in everything we do, destroying their skin microbiome with huge amounts of chemicals, which really shouldn't be put on adults, let alone babies. And so that could have been exacerbating the amount of peanut allergies. That's so interesting. So Kit, because we're going to wrap it up soon, because it's a nice quick breaking news one. I think we have two headlines there which are incredible. In going forward, how can this help everyone with what they do for their lifestyle? Because we're all about the lifestyle and what's it going to help them with?
Yeah, well, number one is a general point. Babies and children, your whole body is developing, so you want to expose them to lots of things in their environment early on, so the immune system can be trained, basically. So it's training the immune system. So expose them to nature, expose them to germs, and expose them to foods like peanuts, as this study shows. And number two, it shows that the one massive piece which everyone is missing is keeping the skin healthy, which is a major contributor, as our research is showing, to the chronic disease epidemic, which is sweeping across the Western world. And especially because, and again, there was a stat showing how food allergies were decreasing, but eczema and skin problems are still rising. So that means that we have to be especially mindful of keeping the skin healthy, but no one's doing it at the moment. It's the big thing which everyone misses.
I love that. And I've just thought of something that's even, well, in addition to what you were saying, Kit, that we can talk about on our next podcast. But if food allergies are leveling off, and also people's gut microbiomes are getting possibly a bit healthier, but skin allergies are still massively rising, then that shows and that gives evidence for the fact of the skin being a major factor in these, not like you were saying everyone else talks about it just being the gut.
Oh yeah, massive. So again, it's the one piece which everyone is missing. And also the fact that the skin allergies are still rising, but food allergies and actually respiratory allergies are leveling off, shows that there's one part of the body which we're still destroying, and we're not giving two hoots about it. So allergies in respiratory tract and your gut, we're starting to sort out, aren't we?
Yeah, that was exactly my point. So it gives more credence to the fact of the skin being a major factor.
And this plays into our world-leading published research, where we showed that the skin or damaged skin can be a major factor in this massive chronic disease epidemic in the Western world, which no one is talking about.
So I think going forward too, what can, obviously this massive movement forward, which makes sense, what can people do? What are they missing? What do we need to do next? The final frontier.
Well, people like Make America Healthy Again. To roll back the chronic disease epidemic, we need to recognise the skin as a major factor in the chronic disease epidemic. And secondly, we need to recognise that synthetic chemicals, for one, in everyday cosmetics are just destroying the skin, and we're not doing anything about it compared to the gut.
Brilliant. That's a simple way to end.
Very easy, really.
It is very easy, very simple. Brilliant. Right, next time we're going to talk about how the skin actually causes a lot of these.